To settle in, let's take the opposite cross of your legs and what feels natural. So whatever your dominant cross is, go ahead and take the other. And just beginning to settle in, allowing your eyes to close. Whatever your natural rhythm is, just observing that first. Available to you today. See if for the rest of class you can inhale and exhale through the nose. Go ahead and let your shoulders drop down away from your ears, lifting that crown up towards the sky, feeling rooted through your hips. So feeling a lengthening of the spine. Gently allowing the eyes to open. Go ahead and draw those legs out long, maybe rolling a little flush out from under your sits bones, so getting a nice tall seat. From here, go ahead and inhale your arms up. Drawing through the crown of the head, finding a nice long spine here. Maybe you find a place to grab your legs to help you deepen into the stretch, flexing your feet, pressing your thighs down towards the mat. Your legs are very active here. Forward, squeezing those elbows together. And inhale, bringing the palms up towards the ceiling. Maybe your arms make it next to your ears. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're forward, and that's okay. Just working into this opening. starting to work those hands back from wherever your edge is. Lengthening that crown up. Nice deep inhales into the rib cage. And exhale, release. Let's go ahead and recross the legs. Now maybe taking your natural cross. So just making a point throughout our practices to kind of switch back and forth, going closer to balance. Go ahead and place your right hand on the mat, inhaling the left hand up, and exhale over to the right, stretching through that left side body. Also pressing gently through that right arm to get a little bit more space in that right side body as well. Reaching out through those fingertips. You can really feel that left rib cage fill up with oxygen over here. And on your next inhale, coming up through center, and exhale over to the other side. You can go ahead and start with a deep fold before pressing back up into that left hand. Really reaching through those right fingertips. If that shoulder's rolling forward, go ahead and roll that shoulder back so it's right in line with your side body. So really open across the front, not hunching forward. Center. Go ahead and make your way onto your hands and knees. We're going to do a couple of the balancing poses from our hands and knees, working with the core. Let's go ahead and start with our cat-cow. Inhaling, tailbone. Exhale, pressing back, arching the spine. Forward and exhale back, really pressing through the hands and knees, and continuing a few more times at your own breath. As you inhale to cow, maybe you draw your knees and hands towards one another, just getting ever so slight more stretch. A little bit more feel the movement of each vertebra. And at the end of your next round, go ahead and lean back at neutral spine. And as we begin to do our lateral movement from side to side, I really want you to think about crunching in this side body here. So drawing that rib cage towards that hip. So go ahead and left rib cage towards left hip. Inhale through center. Exhale, right rib cage towards right hip. And maybe you peek out over that shoulder. Inhale through center. Exhale, other side. Continuing at the pace of your own breath, taking it nice and slow, really utilizing that time at the bottom of the breath to really crunch. Activating the core here, working through the obliques. bring that left heel back. Let's just take a few breaths here, starting to open up the back of the leg. Most likely you feel it a little bit more in the calf. Maybe even press into those hands, getting a little bit extra stretch. Coming back through center, inhale that left foot up, parallel to the mat. Double checking that hip, that it's not flailing open. If it is, go ahead and drop it back down. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, out. Exhale, elbow to knee. And as you bring the elbow to knee, your front rib cage is tucking in towards your pelvis. So really using every opportunity to really engage the core here. And release. Hand and knee to mat. Double checking your setup. Knees, hips distance apart, hands, shoulder distance apart, and the right leg comes back. So right here, your hips should be parallel to the mat. So when you lift that right leg up, just double checking that your hip stays right where it's at. But still taking a couple breaths here to get that nice stretch in the back of the calf. Inhale, that right foot up, left arm forward, pressing strongly into the hand and the knee on the mat. And as you exhale, crunching in, knee to elbow. Inhale, straighten, lengthening, lengthening. Exhale, crunch. Pausing at the bottom before inhaling back out. Just a couple more times. Beautiful job connecting movement with your breath. That's really where the power of yoga comes from. Just one more time. And releasing hand and knee back to mat. We're going to take a side one while we're here too. So we're going to go ahead and put the opposite foot and hand back out. But then we're going to crunch the elbow towards, so right elbow will go towards the right side and the left knee will come towards the left side. So starting with that left foot back, inhale, right arm forward, back up to balance, and then knee and elbow to the side. Inhale out. Exhale, knee and elbow to the side. Inhale out. And just do as many as you can. I'm going for 5, but if 3 feels good, just build up from there, build up from wherever you're at. If you're still with me, just one more time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, crunch. Returning the hand and knee. Right foot back, left arm forward. Finding that balance point. And on an exhale, knee and elbow to the side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side. Flowing with your own breath. Again, just do however many you can. Try and make it even between both sides though. So whatever you do for one side, do it for the other. One more if you're still with me. And exhale, release. Bringing those big toes together, knees wide, hips back, child's pose. ahead and take a plank pose, but just from our knees. So hands are going to be shoulder distance apart. If your wrists start to get sore, coming up on fists is another way to kind of relieve some tension from that. So talking that belly button up and in. Your hips will be a little bit out of plane. You don't want to drop them too low. We're not arching the spine. We're keeping them back. Nice straight spine. And exhale, release back to child's pose. I'm going to take my jacket off for a second. Anyway, so it's a little easier to see the moves. But we're going to do kind of a little just partial vinyasa. So inhale forward into part plank, half plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. So just lifting the chest. You're not pressing very hard into the hands. And exhale back, child's pose. Inhale forward into half plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Lifting your hands off the mat. And exhale back, child's. Just one deep inhale and exhale here. On your next inhale, coming back forward, we're going to go for 5 times. Exhale down, inhale, baby cobra, shoulders down, away from the ears, thighs press into the mat. Exhale, hips back. Deep inhale and exhale here. On that next inhale, coming forward into that half plank, just a couple more to go. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Pressing those thighs. Exhale back, child's. You can stay in child's or do one more together. Inhale forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale back. Beautiful work, beginning to heat up our shoulders. Getting some movement in the spine. Hope that's not a mess in front of the camera. Go ahead and inhale back forward onto your hands and knees, tucking those toes under. Let's start with taking our pinky toes all the way to the outside edge of the mat. Hands are still shoulder distance apart. Pressing up and back into a wide down dog. For the first down dog, really roll, well, for every down dog, really roll those armpits in towards your ears. But we're just gonna bend one knee and then the other. So with those armpits really rolled in towards the ears, pressing through the hands, hips up and back. And now you're just pedaling out. Go ahead and bring your big toes back towards one another, feet centered at the mat, bending the knees deeply, gazing forward, and walking or floating your feet to your hands. Let's exhale into a forward fold. And again, continuing to open up the back of the legs here, wake them up. Maybe just bending and straightening, releasing in the head and neck. Again, take your time here, allowing that head and neck to come last. Making sure the insides of your feet are pressed together. If you have a block, you might take a block and put it between your thighs. If not, that's okay. We're just going to squeeze the thighs towards one another. So if you took the block, go ahead and allow a little space between the feet so that it's comfortable to hold the block there. So squeezing into the blocks, squeezing through the glutes, tucking that belly button up and in so you're really tight all through here, all activated. Maybe bringing your hands to heart center. You're going to begin to sit your hips back into chair. So taking a gaze down and shifting those hips even further back so you can see all of your toes. And from there, you might continue to drop that tailbone down. If it begins to feel like a big arch in your back, tuck that tailbone under. And just really taking it as low as you can here. The weight's going to be a little bit more towards your heels. You might even lift your toes up off the mat, drawing that chest up, continuing to tuck that tailbone under. A few more breaths here. And pressing strongly into the feet, standing up. Go ahead and remove the block. We're going to go for a little chair twist. So now you are going to want to bring the feet touching. Again, hands up, prayer position. Gazing down at the toes, dropping that tailbone, sitting back, chest up. Maybe toes are up off the mat. You're going to inhale, lengthen through the rib cage. Exhale, left elbow hooks onto right kind of thigh above the knee there. Feet down at your knees. Make sure one is not coming forward. If they are, work towards getting back towards even. Pressing into that elbow into a nice spinal twist here. Waking up our digestive system, bringing out the internal organs, and release to center. Hooking other side. Again, double checking the knees. We're pressing and twisting, just a couple breaths here. I know we're really warming up the body. And release to center, spreading, pressing strongly into the feet and coming up to standing. Nice work. That is not my favorite pose. I don't know about you, but it's so good. So thanks for sticking with me. Inhaling up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, placing your hands, stepping back, high plank. You can take one inhale here or drop the knees. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale back, child's pose. I think I'm going to have the rest of the class on the mat. So go ahead, from there, make your way onto your back. And if you do have a block, have that handy option to use a block. Sorry, it's cold here, so I'm gonna stay suited up. So go ahead and make your way all the way onto your back if you have not. From here, we're just gonna play with that belly button tuck again. So we're really, yoga really becomes expansive when we can tap into our muscle memory. So the more we do these
more we listen to all the cues and really get into it, the more our body can remember and take us back to those positions. So go ahead, and when you tuck your belly button up and in, what it'll feel like on the ground is erasing the space between your spine and the floor. So that natural curve in the spine will disappear to the floor. Release and tuck. Release and tuck. Release and tuck. We do this a few more times. This, even right here, begins to work the core. And tuck. Really pressing. And release. And when you press, really press and press. A couple more times. Release. And release and press. So when we tuck our belly button up and in, this is what we're doing. Go ahead and release. If you would like, option 2, make a little triangle with your hands. And maybe place that triangle, palms down, at the very, very base of your spine. So it's framing your sacrum, but it's kind of like where your tailbone is. And if you start to come into these leg lifts and it doesn't quite feel right, adjust the hands a little bit because it should feel pretty good. This will help protect your lower back unless your core is already built up and able to keep your spine against the mat without your hands. Begin by lifting those heels up towards the sky. And exhale, beginning to drop them down towards the mat. Maybe come to a 45-degree angle, but coming as far as feels good to you. Inhale back up, and by feel good, I mean not tweaking your lower back. Exhale. It should be working your core. Inhale up. Exhale. Maybe you try a couple, coming a little further down. Inhale up, and then ease out a bit as your muscles begin to fatigue. Down and up. And now with both legs up, we're just going to drop one down at a time. Exhale, one leg down, inhale up. Exhale, other leg down. Inhale up. In that top leg, you're still really working to keep it straight. Really working, pushing out through the heel. Other foot down. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Inhale up. One more time each side. Down. And up. And down. At the knees, dropping soles of the feet to the mat, pressing up, releasing your hands. Go ahead and squeeze both those knees in towards your chest. Maybe rocking back and forth, releasing in the hips. Grabbing behind the knees, rolling up to seated. We're going to play with boat. So variations here. Options 2. First, let's just all start with our hands on the mat. Inhaling our feet up off the mat and working towards a 90-degree angle in the feet, well, in the knee, and then really pressing that chest up towards the thighs. So thighs and chest drawing towards one another. Breathing here. And releasing the feet down. For the next one,
We're going to take the same thing with the bent knees, but this time we'll grab behind the thighs. Option 2 add on. Option 2, grab behind the thighs. So as we come up into the next one, inhaling up, same thing. Maybe you use your arms to draw that chest towards the thighs, thighs towards the chest. Maybe you're finding that breath here. And release, hands back to the mat. We're going to do it 2 more times. Next one, option 2, stay the same or straighten the legs. Inhale up. And maybe you begin to straighten, continuing to draw that chest towards the thighs. Breathing here. And release. Just one more Navasana or boat to go. Hopefully your core is feeling nice and warm. I know mine is. And inhale up. And maybe you straighten, maybe you don't, and maybe you take your hands to the side. Or up. And release. Go ahead and begin to roll back to the mat, one vertebra at a time. If you have a block here, to take a little supported bridge. If not, you can support with your hands or just take a couple bridges, pressing up and rolling back down. So if you have a block handy, go ahead and decide what level you want to have it on. You can pick any of the levels depending on how open your back is. If you feel any tweaking, please come down a level. Pressing into the feet, beginning to roll the hips up one vertebra at a time. You might come up onto your tippy toes, but you're going to set that block right under the sacrum, so right under that same spot where you had your hands for the leg lifts. Maybe you clasp your fingers around the block. Maybe you press the sides of your hands into the mat. Rolling those shoulders under and keeping the head gazing straight up towards the sky, still gently drawing those legs in towards one another so the knees aren't falling out to the sides. Go ahead and if you need to, coming up onto the tiptoes, but pressing in to your feet, lifting your hips up a little higher to remove that block, rolling down one vertebra at a nice stretch in the lower spine. I would like to do the upper spine as well in fish. So again, option for block. The other option is to just roll your shoulders under, dropping the back of your head to the mat. And maybe you straighten the legs. You'll press up into the elbows to release. Otherwise, you're going to position your block right at the bottom of your shoulder blades. And as you begin, oh, and please have it most likely on the lowest setting. And as you begin to lay back, your head should be off the block. So kind of the back top portion of your head comes to the mat. Your chin is open, you're looking out behind you. It should feel good. Your back should feel very supported. And if you feel or double up your box. From there, maybe you straighten out the legs. That will deepen the stretch. Bending the knees and rolling to one side to release that block. Go ahead and roll back onto your back with the block removed. We're going to do one last core exercise before we wind down for Shavasana. So with your knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat, go ahead and make a gentle pillow with your hands. And you're going to inhale, lifting your shoulders and chest up off the mat. And you're going to take one arm, so I'm starting with my right arm. Exhale as you lift up, bringing that right arm to the left thigh. Inhale, release to center, head and neck still up. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale, center, still lifted. Exhale, switch sides. Let's go for a couple more each side. Exhale, up. Inhale, release. Exhale, other side. Inhale, release. Nice work. One more time. Rolling all the way back to the mat. Go ahead and cross that left ankle over the right knee. Inhale up. Grabbing behind the thigh, arm front of the shin, figure 4. Top foot is flexed. Protect that knee joint. You really want to feel this in the hip, not the side of the knee. Really drawing that knee in. So being a little active here. Pressing your tailbone towards the mat, lower back towards the mat, while you draw that knee in with your hands. So like an isometric pulling to get a little bit deeper into that hip joint. And release. I say hip joint, but really the
the upper leg muscle there in through the glutes where it attaches in towards the pelvis. So hip muscle. Go ahead and switch that cross. Inhale up, grabbing behind the thigh or in front of the shin. As long as your shoulder blades can make it all the way back to the mat. Again, top foot is flexed. From here, again, that isometric movement of pressing your tailbone into the mat while drawing your knee in towards your chest with your hands will help you get a little bit deeper in there. Breathing here, double checking your jaw, your forehead, they're nice and relaxed. All the release is coming from the hip. We're not storing it somewhere else. And release. Go ahead and cross that left ankle back over the right, dropping both knees over to the right. Maybe you gaze out over that left shoulder. Maybe you straighten that left leg if you want to add on to the supine twist. If you straighten that leg, go ahead, rebend it. Inhale, up through center. Switching the cross. Exhale, both knees over towards the left. Maybe you gaze out over the right shoulder. I realize I'm out of room over here, but maybe you straighten that right leg. Deepening into the twist. Go ahead and inhale back up through center, releasing the legs. This would be a great moment to grab a blanket or your jacket as we begin letting our body cool down in Shavasana, final resting position. Allowing your arms to open along your side, tucking your shoulder blades under your back. Your hips relax against the mat. The backs of your legs, calves, ankles, completely relaxed. You relax in the feet, the toes. Working your way back up, you relax across the hips as they spread and feel supported by the earth. You relax your belly, all your internal organs just floating in your abdomen, completely relaxed. Your back and rib cage relaxed. Shoulders relax. Chest relaxes. Arms and forearms completely relaxed. Fingers and hands relax. Neck, head, eyes, jaw, tongue, relax. complete relaxation. For the next couple moments, there is nowhere you have to go, nowhere you need to be, but in this present moment. On your next inhale, maybe taking a deep stretch. Maybe you draw your arms up over your head. Feet out long. And as you're ready, bringing the soles of your feet to the mat. Bending at the knees and rolling onto your side in the fetal position. And from fetal, go ahead and begin to press up to seated. We'll just end together in seated. Maybe pressing your palms together, coming to heart center, pressing the base of the thumbs into your sternum. You might feel a nice spreading across the chest. And just thanking yourself, thanking your body for showing up today, for breathing and moving. As a practice of self-love and self